Alright folks, so making a new video here on our basket case C10, and anyway, getting ready to start working on this thing here soon. Don't want to tear it apart quite yet until I'm truly ready, but I'm going to do a few little upgrades on it. And one thing we're going to do is all this spaghetti mess here that comes down and goes to our alternator down here, which is a 10 SI GM alternator. It's just a standard internally regulated alternator there. But we're going to do away with that, and we're going to put a one wire on it, and that way it'll eliminate all that mess. We'll just run a hot to the inside, because this truck has just got some pile of issues with the wiring and everything. I mean, the wiring on this truck is just a joke, really. And I've mentioned it before that you know, everything from the tail lights up to this point, well, technically on up to here, everything from the taillight wire harness all the way back has been redone, and all that part is fine, but everything under the hood is just trash, you know. So what we're going to do is we're going to come in here and we're going to go through and take all this wiring out, and we're going to throw it in the trash, and we're going to take and give this truck what it really needs. We're going to rewire this thing. We're going to simplify it, and on top of that, we're going to upgrade the alternator. We're going to put our higher amp on there. That's a 10 SI. I think it's rated at maybe 63 amp, maybe 70 amp. Heck, I don't know, something like that. But we're going to do away with that. I'm going to take that alternator. I'll probably put it on my 78 Ford back there. And ever since I put that 10 SI on our Etzel here, I love it. I really do. So we're going to put a 10 SI alternator on here and upgrade that. And then we're going to buy another HEI distributor so we can, we'll have a fresh distributor in here. The only reason for that is the cap and that rotor that's off this distributor and that coil is off the 78 here, because I bought a HEI distributor for my 78 here. That's sitting right there. And the coil, well, actually, it wasn't the coil, but the rotor and the distributor cap on the other HI was so wore out, had so much of a gap, it wasn't making contact, and it just quit firing. All of a sudden, it was weird. But anyway, that's why that's on here. And I want to take that distributor cap, the coil, and all that good stuff, and return that back to its home on the 78 here. And I ain't even put that distributor in that truck yet, because it's waiting. That truck's still waiting on a motor yet. But I do have one, but that's another story for another day. But so that's basically what I'm going to do. We're going to put a one wire, probably at least a 100 amp alternator on here. That'd be plenty for this. And then we'll get another HI distributor for it. And we're starting to do this too, because I might actually go a little higher amperage on now. Maybe I'll go to 120. I don't know, something like that. But I want to start setting this thing up the way I want it. Because eventually, I mean, it's going to take a while, but I'm going to find my F-150 frame like I want, and we're going to take this cab and this frame and everything off of it, and we're going to put it over on a 70s to 80s full drive long bed F-150 frame. So that's what we're going to do now. We're going to have two issues. We're going to have two big issues with that. Don't really care about the body mounts, bed mounts, all that. I don't care about that right now. Biggest issue is going to be our lug pattern. I don't want to lose these Riley wheels. I like these. We want to retain these, so we're going to have to. And I don't like wheel adapters at all. So we might have to get the rotors re-drilled to run these wheels. So that's the one issue. And another issue is the steering box on the Fords. Instead of being up here like on your Chevrolet here on the front of the frame behind your bumper, basically, is more back in this area here. So we're going to have to figure out something about that, because I want to retain the original steering column. I don't want to lose the steering column at all, because well, let me actually rephrase that. I am willing to get an aftermarket steering column, but I don't want to lose the original steering wheel itself, the originality of it, basically. So I want to keep that same style steering wheel. It's nothing really special, so that it looks original. And I'm trying to go for basically a modified look here on this truck is what I'm trying to go for. But that's what I want to do here, and we'll pull these heads off. We're not going to use this motor when I get, you know, to that point in time of building it. But we're going to pull these heads off. We're going to throw head gaskets on it. Hopefully that'll get rid of the coolant and the oil issue here. I'm sure it might have a crack in the head. I hope not. But we'll try it. It's not going to hurt nothing. I only got, up-teen gasket kits here with head gaskets. Now beware, this 305 uses different head gaskets from any of other your small block Chevrolet. So beware of that. So you have to buy special head gaskets. Well, they're not really special, they're just smaller, because the cylinders on this 305 are only about 3 3/4 inch bore. It's like 3.73 inch bore, where a 350, a 327, a 307, and I think a 302 are a 4-inch bore, where a 283 is a 3.875 bore, and a 400 is like 4.1, about 4 1/8, something like that. But anyway, I just use different head gaskets. But I'm going to pop these heads off, throw the head gaskets on, we'll clean everything up real good, we'll paint the heads up, and we're not going to go too crazy on it, but we'll clean them up, paint them up, throw them back on. I want to get exhaust manifold, the same exact style that angles about a 45-degree angle, something like that. Angles back like that, but it doesn't have this on here. So that way it looks cleaner. So I want to replace that. And plus on top of that, it's not really so much of this alternator bracket that's cast in. It's actually got a crack at the ear down here. If you look, now it was that way when I bought it. But yeah, you can kind of see it. The ear where the stud goes through is cracked. So this exhaust manifold pretty much is trash anyway. So I spent all that money, and then when I got it 3-4 years ago, whenever it was, the ear was cracked. Everything's perfect on it other than that. And then the only reason I didn't buy a reproduction is they make them with this alternator bracket cast onto it, but they have them where they're not angled back like it. And I had a heck of a time trying to find that thing where it had that correct angle and it had this correct alternator bracket. And they make them angled like that, but without this bracket. And then they make them with the bracket, but yet it's angled straight down. So it's crazy. But now I'm sure they probably make that exact, everything I need. But now it don't matter. That's why, kind of part of the reason why I put a long water pump on. It's just so much better set up. And, I just got tired of the short water pump and all that. But that's what we're going to do here is we'll rip all this wiring out. And I'm going to correct the spark plug wires and just get everything straightened up underneath here so it don't look like, it's been put together and just, kind of threw together from 4 corners in a shop, We want to clean this thing up a little bit and at least get that much done. So that's what it's on the list. I want to do something about this heater box. I'm going to look into that a little bit more. I think it's serious about just, doing away with this completely. Throwing that in the trash, and because it's pretty much junk anyway. And I think it's serious about buying a F-150 heater box, like something off this style truck here. We're not going to use that one, of course, but it just looks so much cleaner. And I'm going to measure the one on this truck, and if it will work, I'll either go to a salvage yard or I'll find one offline. And the firewall's a little different, but I'm going to have to see what I can come up with there. But I might take this heater box out of, not this actual truck, but another truck like it, and retrofit, quote unquote, that into this truck so that we can get rid of all this garbage underneath the heater here. See, we have nothing at all, no heater ducts or any of that stuff. That stuff's, some of it I have, but some of it's been falling apart like crazy. And we got all this spaghetti mess under here, and it's just, it comes to a point in time of just kind of getting fed up of it, and it's just, it needs to go in the trash, and it needs to be fixed. I mean, these trucks are very extremely easy to wire, and there's really no reason why it should be like that. Honestly, I've had a pile of issues with the starter wire, the wire that goes to the solenoid on this thing. I've had issue after issue with that thing. Trying to, sit there and get it to start right and everything, and it's not actually the starter itself at all. I've run a whole new wire to it and everything, wired up to the ignition switch like it's supposed to be, and it's still, every now and then it go, grinding and all that stuff. And I think the ignition switch is just junk. It's just a Chinese ignition switch, and it's just junk. And I even went through trying to, do it through the factory harness. And, we got, I don't know if it's a short in there or what, but it still does the same thing. And if you take that wire straight off that solenoid and jump it straight to the hot on the battery, it just, boom, beautiful. Starts beautiful. So that tells you it's something in the wire harness, is what that is. So, it just get to the point now, it's time to fix it right. And I mean, it really, honestly, wouldn't be that hard to do, really. I mean, it really wouldn't cost nothing. I mean, I had to get a one-wire alternator. I want to get that anyway, because I want to get a little higher amperage one and put in there, just make it run a little better. And eventually, sometime, I want to put the AC back on this truck. So I'm not quite sure if I'm going to run the F-150 heater box or not. It's still up in the air. But eventually, when I make this truck the way I want, I do want to restore the AC on it. But I might not go with the heater box at all. I might go with a vintage air. It's got the heat and everything built into it. But, you're talking money there, and that's going to be a long, long time there. Long, long time. But right now, I just want to get this thing straightened out. We're going to get rid of these junk side posts here. Get rid of this battery. We're going to put a top post battery in it. Clean this mess up. Get rid of all this junk. And need to finish up my Turbo 350 I rebuilt like 5 years ago. The only thing I got left to do is put the valve body on it, and I want to make some more videos on that. But I want to try to get this thing kind of wrapped up a little bit and get it straightened out so it's, not such, a POS. But trying to look for parts, I want to get this straightened up under here first, get the wiring kind of tidied up so it's nice and neat. And then I think once that's done, we'll start looking for a fender for this side and get that fender for it. I want a nice original fender. That's what I want. But I got to get this fender for it. We're going to get rid of these. I like the mirrors, but I want to get rid of them because they junk. And I mean, that one's all crooked and everything else. And I've done had to weld on it because it done broke. And it's just, we're going to get rid of all this junk. And if it comes down to it, I'll get the two bow tie mirrors like off a Camaro or Chevelle or something and throw on there, but not sure on that. But I got to get a fender yet, and we're going to get new tires and put all the way around on this thing. I think we'll probably end up getting the same size tires as my Durango throwing on here, and just put it back to the correct tire size, and that'll help it out gear ratio wise and all that good stuff. But I got to find the fender yet. It needs a hood hinge for the passenger side. This hood hinge is junk, but it's broke, as you can see. I have the spring, but that's junk. The grill is, it's usable the way it is right now, but it's pretty much junk. The plastic guard and all that stuff, and behind it is broke all to pieces. I actually have I've had this truck for almost 5 years now. And I still never put the headlight bezels and all that in. And this headlight's screwed up because I hit a deer about 3-4 years ago. And it screwed that headlight up. So all it really did is it just broke the spring and everything. So it's barely hanging in there. So one of them's pointing down at the ground. The other one's pointing straight ahead. But anyway, so I got to come and tidy that up a little bit. Because that's, kind of getting ridiculous there. But anyway, we're going to take and we'll reuse this fender here. The inner fenders I want to try and salvage, the radiator support, the hood, all that good stuff we're going to try and salvage. This door we're not going to use. It's junk. It's rotted out to pieces at the bottom. I mean, as you can see, it's junk. So we're going to do away with this trim right here. It's junk. It's a shame because this truck had trim that goes all the way down the side and all the way down to the bottom, which is a shame, but I took a lot of that stuff off, and it wasn't really that much left on it, but that's actually the only remaining piece back, but that's still left. But I want to shave this antenna, shave that off, get rid of that, and get a good passenger side door. Got to get that yet, and it needs a tailgate badly, and a rear bumper. Those are junk. And those are going to get scrapped. And it's pretty much about it for now. Oh, and the mufflers. I'm going to put glass packs on this thing. I'm tired of playing around with these junk Speedway mufflers. And I've had them on there for 3-4 years now, and it's just, and just, nice way of saying it is I'm just tired of them, and they're junk, and fed up with it. It makes me mad thinking about it, but I paid all that money for them. And like I mentioned before, it's like you taking a paint can, filling it up with sockets and everything else, and putting it on a paint checker and just and it's embarrassing. It really is. So I'm taking the Zoll, cutting them off, and I'm throwing them things in the trash. So between doing them mufflers and working on this motor, one of them two is going to be done first. Because I'm tired of them rattling like that, and it's ridiculous. It's so embarrassing. So they're coming off. I'm going to put glass packs on it, and I'm done with it. And hopefully, there ain't nothing really to worry about rattling on them. The only thing I don't really like about them, I don't really like the raspy kind of, crispy kind of, I guess you'd say, sound. But, I'd rather deal with that than I would just, rattle and everything else. So we're going to put a nice set of glass packs on it. I actually probably going to put glass packs on this car too, eventually. But, just don't buy Speedway mufflers. Them things are a POS. They really are. And so that's the plan for that. So we'll go get our glass packs. We'll get a one-wire alternator. We'll get another HI distributor. And I'll decide. I'm hoping I can just pull the heads off, throw head gaskets on it, and just kind of throw it back together and clean it up and just kind of let it ride. But I hope it's no cracked head. But if it is, I'll spend the money and I'll just get a set of reman heads and just throw on it for now. But it's kind of at that point then, it's a domino effect. You do all that, I kind of want to, you might as well get in there and throw a new cam and, lifters and all that stuff too. So it's, freshened up here. But anyway, so this is in the works here. I think the easiest thing to do first is we'll go ahead and I'll probably order my alternator. I do have like 3 to 4, I've got upteen gasket kits, because between buying intake gaskets and just head gaskets, it ain't worth it to me. I keep buying full gasket sets, and I take what I use, and then the rest of it I just put on the shelf, and most of it never gets used. So I've taken like 3 or 4 gasket kits to make one complete one, but most of them I've done used. Just all of them I've done taking the intake gaskets out and the valve cover gaskets, because for what it costs for valve cover gaskets alone is ridiculous. When you're talking $20-$30 for cork style gaskets, and then you buy the Felpro or intake gaskets, and they're like about the same, $20-$30 if you're lucky. And if I'm gonna pay $20-$30 for just intake gaskets or just valve cover gaskets, I might as well pay 20 more, maybe 30 more, and I'll just get the full set and take what I need. So that's what I've always done. I never buy gaskets individually anymore. I don't. It's not worth it. So I got like, 3-4 different sets of just small block Chevrolet gaskets that, I've got that, I've taken when I need it and, just put them on the shelf. Now, if it's something small, like a fuel pump gasket or, maybe a water net gasket, I'll buy that. But if it's a head gasket, intake gasket, valve cover gasket, heck, even an oil pan gasket, basically any of the rest of them, I'm just going to spend the extra money, just buy a kit, because it ain't worth it. Because to me, that's why I spend $20-$30 when you can spend, $20-$30 more and just get the full kit and be done with it. And then what you don't use, you just keep it on the shelf. You never know. You might use it eventually. I have many times. So anyway, so I think we'll get our alternator ordered, and we'll start get a gasket kit in again. I already got the 305 head gaskets. Make sure 305 and 350, if you ever do that, they are 2 different style head gaskets. So watch out for that. So because the cylinder bore and the 305 and 350 is completely different. So you can't use 350 head gaskets on the 305. And then I think you can go the other way, right? No, you can't do it either way. Never mind, because they're small. But anyway, so we're going to end the video here and try and clean this thing up, tidy up our plug wires here, get rid of this spaghetti mess here, and get this thing looking decent again, and get our Rear brake straightened out. We'll get some tires on it. And I got to look for a steering column. The steering column that's in this truck is junk. It's when it was in an accident from this here, it screwed up the steering box. It didn't mess anything else up, but something inside is broke. Because you can take and I could pull the steering wheel back a good little bit. But anyway, you can take a steering wheel and you can pull it back. So, and it's something, I've traced it down here. It's this joint down here. Something is broke. Something in this joint here. So, I mean, I might be able to salvage that steering column. I don't know if you can still get that joint or not, but it's something in there. But that's got to be fixed. That's a big safety issue. But anyway, I'm gonna end this video here, and just wanted to kind of make an update here. What our next project is just kind of not really a project, but I just want to go through and straighten this thing out a little bit, so it's not so much of a basket case. I mean, it's always going to be a basket case till I build it the way I want to build it. But at least get it where it's more, you know, drivable, reliable, all that good stuff. And then get this done. Hopefully this don't take too long. This will be kind of quick, I hope. And I want to get on the Etzel because it needs ball joints, the tie rods. The whole front end's got to be redone on that. That's why I'm not really driving it right now. I'll drive it every now and then, but I don't like driving it too much because it's just got so much slop in the steering. It's just, to me, I don't like driving it because of that. And then plus, I just don't want something, you know, just scared something's going to happen to it. So anyway, y'all take care, and I'll see y'all later. Bye.